Hello and welcome to Off the Beaten Tracks. A little while ago I had this idea, this unique idea, this blockbuster of an idea. On the VC, when you have an album such as this, you'll show the front cover, great front cover. You'll show the back, you'll take the album out, you'll show the label, and talk about it. But nobody has been reading these little write-ups that some poor idiot had to do for $8 in an evening to say how great the inside of these records are. So I decided, wouldn't it be great to get Grace Bevan, who does a lot of the intros for my channel now, to read these highly amusing write-ups, and it would dazzle everybody, and then we would discuss the album afterwards and discuss whether the album actually lived up to the hype on the back. Well, the reason it turns out that people don't do this on the VC is that it is as dull as shit. But the part afterwards where Grace and I sat down and discussed the album, I think was fairly interesting. So that is what we're going to do. We've cut the chaff off. You've only got the wheat left now. The discussion at the end, and the first discussion, we're going to call this segment Master LP's Theater. And our first Master LP's Theater presentation will be on Johnnie Ray, The Big Beat. This is on Columbia. It's a 6i. And it was from 1957. So hang tight. After the little video intro, we will be premiering Master LP's Theater. That is a good album.
Yes. Oh my goodness. From what we've been listening to secretly so far, this is, I think, probably my favorite. It was so fun to listen to. You could really hear sort of the bridge between big band and swing going into rock and roll a little bit, and tides changing. And
in fact, Tony Bennett had called him the very first rock and roll singer. And some of his early hits, like Walking My Baby Back Home, was a big hit in the charts in I think the mid-50s, right around the rock around the clock kind of era. And he's just a great singer. I mean, that's what really sells this album. The irony, though, of this album being called The Big Beat is, did you hear the drums in this album?
Not really. Like, there were definitely interesting musical things going on. Like,
and
there's
kind of a lot of bass going on, and it's a swinging album. But with an album title like The Big Beat, you'd expect it to be like Gene Krupa back there smashing away. But it isn't.
Not really. It's still very danceable, though.
Yeah, no, I think it's a lively album with really nice instrumentation and arrangements on it, and he's just a great singer. I mean, a wasted talent because of his problems with alcohol and things back in the day. And also, I would give this cover. I love that cover. I would give it a 8.5.
I have to admit, it doesn't really appeal to me all that much. I know there was an alternate cover of this particular album where he's painted, and I find I prefer that one. I'm also just very confused by what's going on in the background in it. It's
kind of ice or a mountain,
right?
Out of focus or something?
I was getting out of focus tinfoil.
It could be.
Maybe. I'd go a little more around a 5 with it. It's pretty standard. You got, your guy looking cool and a weird background. Perhaps they called Life Touch. I'm not really sure.
And he looks about 45 in that picture, and he's only 30.
Oh, well, but that's a pretty common thing you see with stars, especially ones who are having certain substance abuse things, right? Like, Joe Walsh was 70 when he was 30.
Yes, Joe does not look that good. But, okay, let's go to the final determinant here. 10 being best, 0 being Rob Schneider. Where does this stand as an album for you?
Overall, I would give it a solid 8.5.
I think I'm an 8.5. So this album obviously bridges the generations. Not that there are too many generations between us, hopefully, but
just 3 or 4.
Yes. So there is our first album on our first Master LP's Theater. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with more readings sometime soon.
Right? Okay. Okay.